Editor of the website Brexit Central and the Guardian columnist Zoe Williams. And Zoe, the cartoon's a little bit cynical about this royal wedding.
It's looking pretty depressing, isn't it? I really felt for all commentators yesterday, because there's literally nothing to say about the royal wedding apart from what lovely news. You know, it's like we make our living.
Well, that's to fill an hour.
You know, well, yeah. But the cartoonists are probably the only people who could have said this quite sour thing, which is, isn't that handy for a government in the grip of a complete disaster that something nice happened?
Do you think it is a distraction from the plight of Britain?
Well, I certainly disagree with Zoe's analysis that we're heading for a disaster on Brexit, but I think it's lovely news. I think actually the public probably were delighted to have something different to hear about during their daily TV programmes yesterday, other than Brexit. Because much as, you know, I write about Brexit every day, I'm fascinated by it, I think it's really important. I think a lot of the British public out there think, we voted for Brexit last year, it's happening, let's talk about something else. And I think this royal wedding is going to be certainly a good thing to keep commentators occupied, but also, yeah, it will be a boost for the country in terms of morale.
Two things.
Well,
two things. Firstly,
she'd been a French television star.
Why?
Well, you're a Brexiteer, don't like that sort of thing.
Yeah, but listen, two things. A, the very fact that you managed to turn that into entirely a conversation about Brexit when actually it's about two people getting married is proof that it won't distract anyone from Brexit.
And
B, it's not a talking point, is it? It's like your second cousin getting married. You just go, oh, well, that's nice. He's about the right age. She looks nice. It's really not a talking point. It's very boring.
I was delighted it was on the front page of The Guardian this morning anyway.
Oh, okay.
I feared it might not be.
Now, what about this whole question of the Irish border? Just speaking to Mr O'Brien about it there in Dublin. William Hague basically says, you know, both sides should calm down.
But what he's also saying is that the Irish government should not place the British government in an impossible position, which is what they're doing by saying that Northern Ireland has to stay in the customs union or else. Well, I mean, that's simply not acceptable. You can't have a customs union within the United Kingdom and create new borders where none currently exist.
Isn't the problem as far as most sensible people see it, is that the government hasn't decided whether they want to stay in the customs union.
They decided before the election.
Hey, calm down a little bit. They didn't decide before the election.
It was in the manifesto.
They didn't decide.
And it was in the Labour manifesto as well.
Hang on a sec. It was in the Labour manifesto that we weren't staying in the single market or the customs union.
Yes, it was.
In the Labour manifesto,
yes, absolutely.
They said we definitely don't want to stay in the single market.
Actually, what they said was we will be leaving.
Yeah, they said freedom of movement will end, which happens when you can't single market.
The point that Polly Toynbee makes, which actually seems to be, you know, irrefutable, is that the government is saying three inconsistent things. Yeah. On the one hand, it's saying we don't want to be in the customs union and we don't want to be in the single market, but on the other hand it's saying we're going to have an open border, and those two just simply don't add up.
No, it certainly shouldn't be insurmountable, this border issue.
Yeah, but they don't add up, do they?
Well, both sides have said they don't want a hard border, so there won't be a hard border. And in terms of the way in which you can cope with these mechanisms after Brexit, you know, you look at other examples around the world where you've got relatively frictionless borders, whether it be the USA and Canada or Norway and Sweden. You know, we have the technology these days for you don't need people in uniforms doing custom checks. This can all be done online.
This is exactly what Owen Paterson was doing at the weekend. He was going, oh, we can do it with technology. Oh, we can do it with the internet. That's not plausible. The point is, the point of a soft border, the point of an open border, is that it's a consequence of having a customs union and a single market. No, but you can't have. I mean, if you look at Nescafe did this research where they've got 144 ingredients that come from places outside the UK that go into just coffee, right? All of those things would need to be regulated separately if we were outside the customs and the single market unions. So the idea that these things can just come across borders without any kind of hard border is incorrect.
No, I look at the way in which people do their tax returns. You do your tax return online, you file it, it happens, and then occasionally there'll be spot checks afterwards.
Of course the internet exists.
But wait a minute. You know, one of the points of Brexit was to take back control. You don't want an open border because you don't know who could come across the border and gain entry into the UK via a soft border in Ireland. You need a hard border.
No, we've had a common travel area with the Republic of Ireland since 1922, which predates any involvement in the European Union.
Ireland wasn't a member of the EU then, right? So Ireland is now a member of the EU. If we have an open border with them, anybody from the EU can go into Ireland with an open border because they've got freedom of movement, and then anybody from Ireland can come into Northern Ireland. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but so you want a hard border?
No, I don't want a hard border. I don't want to leave the EU.
Right, well, we are, though, aren't we? We had a referendum.
Sweetie, that's not the point. The point is you have to decide what you're actually saying. You can't say we've had a soft border since the 20s, therefore it will be fine, when they weren't a member of the EU in the 20s. Now they are. Well,
it's worth remembering that Ireland only joined the European Economic Community because we joined, and I do wonder whether in due course... Well, no, I wonder in due course, when Ireland sees the UK thriving after Brexit, whether they may actually say, perhaps we should follow the UK out.
Thank you both. We will return to this, I'm sure, at a later date. Thank you both very much indeed.